Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
we're here. I've
Here
been
again.
better.
Here again. Hit the road.
Mhm.
How was the week?
Very difficult. A lot of personal things happened that, for a moment, threw me off my path for a bit, or maybe threw me back on by showing me things I needed to learn. So I was tested a lot, and because of that, I lost sight of my homework, and so I only did two receivings
Okay.
the week rather
Okay.
than like the full week. So yeah.
It's a great example for us to first of all not to see the pace, to see how we allow ourselves to drive in the new road. In the beginning, it's hard. It's hard to learn how to drive in the new road, and it's very natural to have only 2 times out of like 5 days, 6 days, 7 days that you want to open and practice, that. But it's a great example also to show people that we can work also with only 2 openings, 2 cycles of daily writings. We're gonna summarize it, and we are going to reopen new cards. Um, but I want to go back to this spider first.
Yeah.
If we look at number 5, which is the
Wanting child.
the wanting child, right? And we have number 10, which is the girl in the middle. So how from score from 1 to 10, how number 5, the wanting child, is present in your life right now?
Oh, like an 8. 9. She's been complaining a lot. She almost threw a huge temper tantrum. Like, it was not good. Because for a moment she wasn't getting what she wanted. Or it looked like she wasn't going to get what she wanted, or at least what she thought she wanted. And was not happy. Not happy. She needed to be heard, and she needed to be seen, and she needed everybody to know how unhappy she was. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was just telling everybody about how unhappy I was. I was telling everybody my business, making sure everybody heard my tantrum of, oh, did you see what happened to me? I didn't get what I want. How could I not get what I want? What is it? Horrible. It was horrible. Looking back, it felt horrible and it looks horrible. And when you look back and see the mess that the temper, because now all these people are like, oh, did you see what happened? Or all the people I opened up to and was like, this happened to me, this happened to me. And I'm thinking, I kind of wish I didn't tell so many people, like, because there was no need. But I was having a fit. So she really, really took control of the room.
I have to tell you that it's on one end. I hear you. I hear the resistance. I hear the drama. I hear. I don't want to call it even drama because this is what you felt. This is what you felt. This is part of the process here to observe also on those places that we lose balance, we lose control, we fall down from the rope, and we are in tantrum. You said it, tantrum. It's kind of like a real tantrum. We are looking at ourselves in kind of a loop of energy that we can't move on. We can't move on. We can't break it. It's level of emotion that we can break. Uh, how was the 10?
Oh, she poor girl. Just if she's in a meadow, it's somewhere else. Like we didn't see her.
She got lost.
She got lost because even in all the good I got from it, I was not the girl in the meadow. Maybe now she's kind of reappearing after the aftermath. But if you're asking how my week went, she was kind of like packed her bags and was like, I'm out. Bye. I was like, okay, I'm back to my meadow. So
it's perfect to look at it because the girl in the middle is like, I want to play this game with you, but if you don't want to play with me, I'm leaving. That's the conversation that she said. And I want to ask you, how does this situation of number 5 and 10 shows how does it show up in your pattern in your life? Can you see a pattern here?
Yeah, well, yeah, because every time things don't go really my way, or I really want something, the energy of the wanting child is just, ugh. Like even at 10, in my 20s, it was a 10 and more if it could be. And, well, in my 20s, the girl in the meadow didn't exist. Like, not ignoring the fact that I came up with the concept now, just the sheer concept of peace wasn't even something that occurred to me at all. So it's very evident that, you know, the cycle still continues on where I don't get, and I can feel that wanting to just, and the other one was like, this isn't my scene. Because I recognize her, so she's obviously within me because I recognize her, but I definitely felt the absence when the other girl was taking over, and I was like, oh, where's my girl in the middle? But she was like, this is not my jam.
Does the girl in the middle judge the scene?
No, I definitely know she didn't, because it felt more like the energy of kind of it when a kid's crying, and I've seen parents do this, and I always thought, how could they do this? Where they go to another room and they allow the kid to just cry until the kid at one point realizes the parent's not in the room, and then they go looking for it. So that's what happened. She kind of left, and my kid had my tantrum, and now, like, let's say today, because it went through, the kid is now calmed down from the tantrum, so now she's kind of looking for the other girl, because she's like, wait, well, where'd you go?
Mm-hmm.
Like how kids do,
Mm-hmm.
where they realize, they said, well, wait, where's the other? Because her energy is vital.
Mm-hmm.
So when she kind of left, the wanting child can't calm down a little and started slowly saying, well, there was a girl here, the girl from the meadow, where is she now?
Mm-hmm.
So now she's going around looking, and this girl in the meadow is, it's more like she's saying, obviously you're doing something here, so I'm just going to step over here, like out of the way, because, you know, I don't know, she's got a different vibe, and she's like, and I'm just going to let you scream that out. And it's interesting, because now the child is looking, saying, well, I kind of want her back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's happening, like, today now, not so much in the past days, but today now the wanting child is kind of looking, saying, where is she? Yeah.
So if we think about
Yeah.
now, not about yesterday, not about a week ago, now, what is the score between the wanting child and the girl in the middle, which you know already, like each one of them has 10. Like, they don't need to complete each other.
So where I actually see them, like I can put in a visual, because I'm a visual person. I don't know what number to give it, but I know exactly what they look like.
Show me.
It's a girl, you know, there's tears in her face, and snuffling, cleaning her eyes, and she's kind of like, you know, tugging on the girl in the wanting. The girl in the wanting's probably got a book, and she's like, you done? What? And the kid's probably, you know, the kid wants the last couple. He's like, yeah. Are you done now? Is everything okay? The girl's like, you know, like she's deciding, like, am I done with my tantrum? I'm not sure, but she's kind of holding on to the skirts of the meadow. He's like, I mean, are you done? Because I'm okay. Like, if you want to hang with me, that's cool.
It's so interesting, because can I show you how you did it? When the mother was talking, when number 10, like the higher voice, the girl in the middle, she was looking at her like that.
Like down. Yeah.
Down. And the girl was looking at her like that.
Yeah, up, yeah. Yeah, that's how they are.
And it's so interesting, because it's so interesting to see that number 10, on one hand you said, like, I didn't judge, but I didn't want to play this game. But it seems like you're holding her very high.
Yeah.
And this girl is like, when you were talking about her, it was like, what an annoying girl.
Well, it was more like, this is why it was hard to measure, because the wanting child's energy is high and the girl's energy is low, but the presence doesn't match their energy, because even though the girl's meadow energy is very calm and low, her presence is a higher impact. While the wanting child, she still is raging with energy, but her presence is lower impact, because, so that's why I had a hard time putting in numbers, because they both have very opposing, and they're playing with two different energies, that, so they're both high and low at the same time, that are somehow kind of meeting each other. That's why I was like, I couldn't put a number to it, because of that energy.
It seems like, from what I hear, there is a connection. They see each other.
Yeah.
They talk to each other already.
Yeah.
They know, you said like at the beginning, I didn't know that she exists, the girl in the middle. Like for me right now, I see her. I see both of them. I work with both of them. So they're in the same space. They're in the same room, in your heart.
Yeah.
But they still like checking each other.
Yeah, the girl in the middle doesn't feel as much judgy as she feels. She's an open space, but she knows exactly where the boundaries lie. This is why she's the girl in the middle. So she can look at the girl and be, create a boundary of not grabbing her immediately. However, she'll know that internally she wants to. Like, it's so weird. I can feel these characters almost like dimensional. Like, I can actually feel the girl in the middle sitting there saying, oh, I actually want to take her into my arms. And he goes, but I need her to calm down first, because I'm not going to do her any justice if I do. And because my girl in the middle is so chill, she knows. She's like, if you calm down, then you can be with me. So they're...
And the girl wants to talk, she speaks with her, or she's like just sitting there, like standing there? And
no, she's, at the moment they're speaking together. No. Right now, in this moment, they're actually speaking together.
What do they say to each other?
Well, she's asking the little girl how she is, what's going on.
How do the little girl say?
Well, saying how it hurts, and she's asking her, okay, well, how did it hurt? They're going through a conversation, they're analyzing the situation of what happens before any kind of sense of kind of comfort can take in, because I think, and I don't have children, I don't know how it is, but I always thought, rather than jumping a child into your arm, it's always best to clear up with the child exactly what it is they process, what it is they went through, I would assume, before an act of, okay, let me comfort now. Because then when you go into a comfort, you release a responsibility and you say, now I'm being comforted. And it's hard to get back into a moment of, let's analyze what happened.
So what you're saying is, I prefer that she and I will set expectation for the future. That's the boundaries that you said that you want to put. And when we will set expectation with each other, that will be the boundaries, and I will feel secure to bring her up on my, lips, and just to give her a hug. But first I want to see that she knows what is the boundaries, what is setting expectation with each other. This is what you're saying?
Sort of. We just mostly want the child to have a moment of self-reflection before the act of comfort comes in.
It's so interesting, because for you, like, give her a hug, it's a comfort. And instead of, like, I can see it in my way, that, and when I study, back then in Adler, the hug is kind of like a melting place, a space that says, I love you no matter what, without conditions. But when you come down, you and I will sit and we will set expectations. And what I hear from you is like, I don't want to give her the comfort until I see that she understands the lesson.
No, it's just, it's not ready for comfort yet. Not yet. Because I'm thinking myself too, how I used to deal in my relationships, where there was a fight and there'd be the process where you're sitting there and you're like still sad, and you're kind of going over what you say and you want to be hugged. But I know that the minute I was hugged, I would be like, oh, everything's good now. And yeah, I would talk well after. We're right on the verge of where the girl in the meadow can reach down and bring that in and say, let's be together. But it's not there yet. At the moment, they're just coming down. That's the thing. They are just coming back into the same room together.
Gotcha.
So they're sharing the very most initial feelings
Gotcha.
and
I
reactions,
hear
and
you.
the hug
I
hasn't
hear
come
you.
yet.
I hear you. I hear you. It's like kind of like we were talking about this terminology last time. Backfire. Not when you stop.
Ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
Yeah.
So they're right now. You said like they just calm down.
Yeah.
They're kind of like in a state of mind that there are two forces there.
Yeah.
They see each other. They have the space.
Yeah.
And they want that space, each one of them, right
Yeah.
now. They just want to calm down. Just calm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. They also want to connect again, but it's you have to ease into it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not the run to each other. Oh,
Right.
desperate. It's
Not to force it.
no, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why they're not in that
Gotcha.
state. They're really just barely coming in from a huge thing.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to look at it. It's a great way to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hear if we have only 2 times. So every time we're gonna count the words,
Mm-hmm.
and if obviously most of the time here we will have 2 words that you will connect because unless there is a repetition of one word twice. So we're gonna go through each one of the elements and we're gonna see how to interpret it, how to work with it. It's 5 new cards from last week, right?
Yeah.
I asked the question.
Yes.
You took 5 new cards, and that was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What cards did you get?
I got jealousy, arrogance, belonging, excess, independence.
Okay. Before we move on, did you get something out of it? It's like, was it something that you can say? There was one word that you were talking more about, or observe more, or process more. I can see that you have more.
I did the homework.
You did the homework.
I did that. When did I do it? I don't know. I don't have any recollection of doing it. It went in, and so I have zero memory of doing it. I remember coming and saying, I'm gonna have to admit to her that I didn't do my homework, and now I'm looking at my notebook and I go,
Oh my God! So maybe you did it throughout the sessions with the client?
no, never, because I focus. No, I have no clue. I have no memory of doing this, but somehow I did it.
Okay. I guess
within my.
maybe it
At
was
some point.
at some point in the day.
I have no idea when I did this.
Do you have like it's important to see it. Do you have a specific time of the day that you're doing it?
It's when I'm called to say.
Now it's the time.
I feel yeah.
Okay.
I'm.
That's like for me.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy because it's crazy because I can see how people work with it, and for me, that's supposed to be part of my session mornings. I cannot start the morning without that. And for you, it's like, okay, I have a space right now. And look how you are going with the flow without even knowing. It's like, okay, I have a space. I will do it. I will do it automatically. And then you're done, and then you move on.
I feel like I'm in a paranormal film. Like, when did my notebook fill up with these? I swear. Anyway, it's
so
there,
funny.
but I have zero recollection of doing this.
Okay.
Okay. So I have 5.
You have 5.
I have 5.
Cool. So fire.
Fire. So the one I
But
got.
you know what? Let me see. I would like you to do next week only 2 times.
All right.
So 2 times, and when you come here, we're gonna do the 3rd time, like 3 times.
Yeah.
Because I want to see first. Be aware when you're doing it. It's important for me that you will set a date that you're doing it.
I'll make a note when I do them in case I.
Just allow yourself. I want to see, like, it will be a great observation when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Just write down.
I'll
when
write
you're
down
doing
what
it.
time it is when I'm doing it, what day, what time. Okay. So for the fire one, the cards I got, we got excess, dependence, excess, jealousy, dependence.
So we
So
have two access to dependence.
two excess and two dependence.
Let's write down those two words in one sentence. Who was the first one? It was the
No, excess.
excess.
Excess dependence. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Joy becomes peace when I'm inspired to be excess dependence. It makes sense. Joy becomes peace when I'm inspired to be excess dependence. Makes sense. You can be excessively dependent. Joy becomes peace when I'm inspired to be excess dependence. But on what? Show me the way to be at one with myself when I'm inspired to be excess dependence. Dependence, fire element, my fire, creativity, create, if it's in the fire element. Inspired to be excessively dependent on my creative, inspired to be excessively dependent on my creative, to be dependent on my creative. Yeah. As an artist, we all know that there are times when we go, am I doing art? Am I creating something? What am I doing is worthwhile? If I mold this phrase a bit to think about how it connects within the fire element, I'm inspired to be excessively dependent on my creativity, on what is to be one with myself. Dependence has a negative connotation, doesn't it? Usually. So what's my concept of dependence? See, dependence to me, I never liked it because I know that's what I am, mostly in my relationships. How do I use dependence? My dependence to me has always been based on I depend on others' views of me to define my self-worth. I depend that my partner has to be there so I can be loved, that friends have to be there so I can feel like I'm having fun. So my concept of dependence is a need of receiving from others, an excess need to receive from others. Joy becomes peace when I'm inspired to be. Excess need to receive. Need to receive. I can change that.
It was beautiful. I didn't want to stop you because you processed that very well, and the connection was depend on my excess creativity. This is what I heard at the end. Equation of depend on my excess creativity. And you created kind of like, connection in your mind that you were speaking it out loud, which was so beautifully. That, up until now it was the conversation of, other wisdom of creativity, of creations. And right now, you brought it into your own, depend on your own creativity, excess of creativity. And you said, like, I'm endless in creativity. Like, I'm so creative. Like, I'm an artist. I can rely and depend on my excess creativity. And you're in the fire element. Joy becomes peace. Which means, like, that's the place that we are connecting ourselves to the heart. The mind and the heart are connected on the earth, on the fire element. So it was so beautiful to see, like, how you talk to yourself to bring all the energy of the fire back home to your own creativity by just processing it. It was beautiful. And it's aligned with what I said.
Yes, I feel it.
Worry becomes acceptance. What was the word on earth elements?
Right? Arrogance. 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 And a touch of jealousy.
Arrogant loves the earth element. Okay. I love when it repeats so many times.
Yeah, it was. It's right there. And then just a touch of jealousy.
It's like the universe is like, what? You're not getting here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm repeating what was repeated over here. Worry becomes acceptance when I'm devoted to my acting arrogance. Now, this blows, and the only reason for that is because when I got arrogance, 2 out of my 3 clients got arrogance in their cards. Especially one who was like, I'm never arrogant. And I was like, oh, the arrogance of you. And it was just everywhere. Arrogance everywhere. All over the place. And I got to, while working with my clients and with myself, redefine the concept of arrogance. Or at least personalize the concept of arrogance. And to see all the benefits of what arrogance is. It's the kind of same arrogance word before when boys used to tell me, oh, you know, you're really pretty. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, whatever. And now boys tell me, oh, you're really pretty. I'm like, oh, I know. What else? What are you going to do about it? Yes, I know I'm pretty. Say something more interesting. So I've developed a different relationship with the word arrogance. It used to be so, it's not just bad, but you feel shame connected to arrogance. Like arrogance was a bad thing. Now I look at arrogance only because I've been able to work through this and see it as just what's the word? There's a word. Unapologetic expression of what one is. And that is really what arrogance is, because arrogance is only a word that defines how others view you, not usually how you view yourself. Arrogance is an outside defining word.
So for you, arrogance, it's like an outside defining words. And for you to transform the perspective about this word was to just allow yourself to be who you are.
Yeah.
Just accept. You're in the acceptance.
Yeah, because before it, I didn't even see this until we were looking at the worry becomes acceptance. I was just thinking arrogance. So many times where I wanted to go out dressed a certain way, and I tell my friends, I want to wear this outfit, but am I going to be too obnoxious? Am I going to show too much? It's going to be too much. And I walk out worrying like this until I see everybody else's outfit, and I'm like, ew, I look much better. And then people come up to me and go, that is an amazing outfit, usually drunk. You look so amazing. And the worry all of a sudden disappears. And it's like when I went with my friend to a club and I walked in the club like, I'm shook. By the end of the night, the way I walked through the club, people were actually jumping out of my way. Because I walked through like, oh, and people would just go, whoop, and walk out of the way. And it was arrogance, but it was more like, I'm walking here, and this is me, and I look good, and there's nothing you can do about it, and I want to go home. And it was a complete switch of,
just accept yourself.
It was just me. So I changed the definition of what
and I have to admit that this phase of arrogance, you'll see in the future, when you will receive arrogance, you will be in a totally different phase with yourself.
Yeah.
And that will get a totally different dimension of this word.
Yeah.
So every time this word will get a different dimension in different phases in your life. But right now, for you to move on to the next spiral, is to look at the word arrogant from a place of, I accept myself. I accept my present. I accept who I am right now as I am.
I actually have a different hope for arrogance. My arrogance in my life now is like this, with a slight kind of outward energy. My actual hope is I want arrogance to be a peaceful arrogance. I want my arrogance to be very much kind of like, just the being at one with myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate and I'm happy now accepting that arrogance is the energy that it is now, because it's obviously really good and it sounds sexy now.
What it was before.
Yeah, before arrogance I was embarrassed to get it and I thought, oh my gosh, arrogant. Now I listen to it and it sounds sexy, it sounds exciting, it sounds powerful. I like it. I'm excited to see if it evolves somewhere else to arrogance is just mindful, intuitive, wise, and peaceful, which I'm sure will make its way when it's done to make its way.
This is what I like in this process, that each layer, it's a very delicate layer that reveals the next step on the stage. on the rope, on the letter, whatever you want to call it. But what I'm saying here is that I love that you are acknowledge where you're at right now in your face, and you're not trying to jump and be someone else. You see what for you arrogance is. You can see that it can be evolved to something else later on. But the most important part is to really hold the space of your vessel in yourself, from a place of acceptance. And on earth element, we're talking right now on the earth element, and it seems like, yes, this word was evolved in this week.
Yeah, it had evolved to the point that it created, like Earth, the word created a safe holding space.
I like it.
For me.
I love it.
So it no longer became a word of shame, but a holding space.
You already accelerated, like you already uplifted the energy instead of like guilt, blame, shame, into an energy of acceptance and pride. And you know, in the level of emotion of Hawkins, it's right now you moved on from the survival mode on that specific terminology into and you transformed it, you evolved it into higher level of emotion that's starting to talk the life mode instead of like the survival mode.
Yeah, that's why I like that it's in Earth, because Earth holds, but it also provides a space to feed and grow, and it's providing a space for my arrogance.
I love it.
To feed and grow.
What you just said.
So that's why I like that it's in Earth.
Love it. Yeah, new seeds. Sadness becomes integrity.
Let's see. Dependence, excess, dependence, belonging. Belonging twice, dependence twice.
Okay, dependence first and then belonging.
Yes, dependence and belonging. So, my dependence, yeah, the first one is dependent. Dependence. Dependence, and the second word was belong. Yeah. Okay. Sadness becomes integrity when I value and let go of my dependence belonging. When I value and let go of my dependence belonging. Dependence belonging. One of my greatest sadness is that I feel I don't belong. So many people. Worse though, I don't belong in like what my image of what I assume is something I should belong. You know, people who have birthday parties and somehow there's 50, 100 people in their home, and I have birthday parties and 3 people might show up. Who were the only 3 people I invited anyway? Because I didn't know anybody else. And that's always been a huge sadness, because I always thought, I'm amazing though. How do I only have 3 people showing up to my party? How do I only have these 3 people I can even bother to fit? Like, and that created a huge sadness. So I want to really hear this, because I still have that relationship of sadness and my relationship with belonging, because I feel like, well, I don't have a belonging. I don't have a group of friends. I didn't have people I grew up with in school or work with. I don't have that. And dependence, it goes in there, because I'm always like, I have to belong though. I have to belong. I need to belong. If I don't belong, then what am I? If I don't belong, who am I? So I want this message to really tell me something. It always helps when I bring up the elements, because I feel that really opens up a lot of secrets. Metal. Sun has become integrity. To be integral in metal, you work with metal. And I also really want to think about this. Sun has become integral when to value and let go of dependence. Okay, well, yeah. To value and let go of my dependent belonging. I already understand the part where to let go of dependent belonging will bring integrity, to understand that there are friendships and there are groups, and you get what you get for a reason. And in doing so, I do only have a handful of friends, but those friends are of the utmost integrity, actually. And when I value of my dependence belonging, sadness becomes a term when I value, to separate the two, when I value of my dependence belonging, dependence, what I say dependence was before, dependence, need of others, my need of belonging. If I value my need of belonging, there's a value to want to belong, because at least that means I don't want to be isolated from the world. I value connections with others. To balance out the understanding, to value what is of my appreciation of connection with others, but letting go of my assumptions of what connections with others should be.
I love
So my sadness can become integrity when I see the difference of types of belongings and value the dependent ones that I have, that are the accepting belongings that belong to me and that, are good for me, and let go of the other aspect of what I assumed belonging was supposed to be.
Adler said that the first emotion that every human being has is belonging. Is the sense of belonging. Think about it. A child, a baby just born, and the only thing that he wants is the act from, to feel belong.
Yeah, to go
to
back
feel
in.
belong to where he came.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to feel the hug, and he needs to feel like a baby shows us how belonging is the biggest, the highest value that each human being has. Highest. And what I hear that you are saying is that you understand right now that because you wanted the sense of belonging, on one hand, you wanted a big party, but at the end, you found yourself with three most essence, integrity of friendship. So you can right now see yourself in the sense of belonging from a perspective of I know my integrity. Like at the end, like there is something there. My essence. I know my essence.
No,
I
know
because
what
it's. Sorry.
No, I know, because you're saying, and I hear you speak, but there's something's forming in my head.
Yeah.
The concept to value and let go of dependence belonging is let go of the assumption that it's an anchor as well, because there are some who say, I don't need anybody and I don't need anything, and then they just fly it off and they disappear within themselves and off. To also value dependence belonging, the fact that I say, you know what, I need to call my friend today, or I will connect with my mother today, or I will, find a lover today. It's okay, because a dependence belonging, if we see it in a place of integrity, is an anchor to reconnect.
Wow. So you on one hand you say, I let go of, and on the other hand you say, I value. Like I let go of energy of integrity, and I, codepend on connections and relationships that I need that codependency.
Because it's the type. There's different type. It's saying that don't think that one type of dependence belonging is the type of dependence belonging that is going to be yours. Just because you don't have that doesn't mean that you also don't have your own dependence belonging. It's about letting go of one, but anchoring yourself to understand that there's a dependence belonging that's a healthy one within others.
Yes. So you shift the energy on what is the essence. and how to work accordingly to create the codependency, the healthy codependency, and you release an energy that you were developed codependency, but not necessarily served you.
And it's funny because if we read my vision, it's to be at one with myself. The sentence itself sounds as if just me on my own, to be at one with myself. But I have to remember what I meant when I said that. I said, it is one with myself, but my one is an acceptance of everything in the universe within one.
Love it.
It's the same sense of balance.
Yeah.
Accept
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
while remaining.
When you're centered,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
on
yeah.
one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's move to fear becomes wisdom.
Okay. Belonging, jealousy, excess. So,
Jealousy and excess.
Jealousy, excess. So, let's write that one. Fear becomes wisdom. This is going to be an interesting one. Boy, let's give this one a minute. Fear becomes wisdom when I trust and persist to achieve my jealousy excess. Okay, we can do this. What is jealousy? What is jealousy but an inward reflection of what we want? Of an inward, just what we want for ourselves. Not always bad. Okay, so I know what jealousy is. I know jealousy is just a hidden message of what I want. Excess, a lot of. Excess can be too much. Too much for whom though? Fear becomes wisdom.
Maybe it will help you to look at the photos.
Well, jealousy, I understood. Excess. Fear becomes wisdom when I trust and persist to achieve my jealousy excess, to achieve my needs, my wanting excess. Fear becomes when I trust and persist to achieve my jealousy excess.
Why is the water?
It's flowing. It's energy. It gets into all the little crevices. It's transformative. Show me the way to be at one with myself.
Can I show you what I see, or do you want to process it more?
I'm going to say one more with the sentence to bring in my vision,
Okay.
because this is what we want to come to. Show me the way to be at one with myself when I trust and persist to achieve my okay, there. When I brought in show me the way to be at one with myself, when I trust and persist to achieve my jealousy, all those things that I always used to say, I want but I'll never get, that's too much. I want the house but it's too big. I want the job but it's not realistic. I want the love but I'm not meant to be loved. I want to be at one with myself is to have the wisdom, to take my fear and turn to wisdom by saying, you're jealous excess. You're jealous excess because you know what you want. And you will, and if you're wise, and if you know, if this is to be at one with yourself, you know that you're not asking anything more than just what is meant to be a part of you, to be at one with yourself. As long as my jealousy excess is, because excess can be a hidden message there, being like, as long as it's not
too much.
Excess.
Like I where you were talking, I saw this wanting child in a candy store, and she's like, I want that, and 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 I want. So from what I hear now is like to learn how to take your wisdom and to take out all the wisdom that don't belong to you, and to really empower and express only your wanting child, only what you have in your essence, your creativity, your inner creativity, your integrity, your acceptance.
The arrogance for my jealous excess, my dependent belonging. I'm only bringing the others because I see that they
There is
feed,
a
they
connection.
feed off and they connect.
There is a
So
connection.
I feel like if I look at these, maybe they'll clear up or create a safe space around this one even more, so I can really understand.
Exactly.
Accept my arrogance towards my jealous excess.
So what I'm saying is that the excess and the jealousy, if you take jealousy and we can transform it into inspiration, because the things that you want, it's like the jealousy, when you see something, we're jealous, the things that we want, like we want that. We can see something in our, horizon, in our vision from that specific person. And instead of like, I jealous in him, which is, he has it, I don't, we transform the information, which means, okay, this is an inspiration to me. I can do that because I can see that in him. And the excess inspiration, let's take it that way. Like, that's the wisdom. We're talking about wisdom. Fear becomes wisdom. And you have like excess in kind of like a lot of inspirations. And you said, when I will learn how to work with that wanting child that wants so much, and I will teach her how to put the boundaries, I will allow myself to express my own wisdom.
Yeah. We'll have to move to the next, but I feel like this is the one sentence I'll probably be thinking about because there's still like excess.
Star.
Yeah, the star, because excess still I go, I want to look deeper into the term of it, because even when I looked at the card, I was like, well, that does not look good. I was like, somebody bought way too much stuff. Like, that is absolutely not. So, but then I say, but why am I asking to achieve that kind of, why would I want to achieve that kind of So there's a lot more, I think that.
But don't try to go like deeper with this, because the next cycle of the next week will show you that. And if that specific energy will come back,
then I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good way to see it.
Don't try to stop. Like, don't try to understand too much. Trust the process. Really trust the process. If you don't understand something, that means that there is still a missing piece there. Okay. That you will figure this out in the next cycle.
Okay, that sounds
good. Okay,
and then
here becomes compassion.
Okay, jealousy, belonging, dependence, arrogance. So belonging. Anger becomes compassion when I forgive my struggle with belonging.
Wait, do we need to speak about that?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. Considering that's for the inner child.
That's the wood element.
The wood element for the inner child.
Yeah.
And I have to say, my sense of belonging was challenged this week. Oh my God, was it challenged. And that's probably why my inner child was having a huge fit, because I was struggling with my sense of belonging. Anger becomes compassion when I forgive my struggle with, but like, what a struggle. What a struggle.
Okay.
And I want to forgive, but I see that.
And you know what I feel? I feel like you're a mother that came to me to this session and she's like talking about what happened this week with her child.
Yeah, it was.
Like, Mama, it's exactly what I feel right now.
It was.
It's like, what a struggle, what a tantrum she had. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, it was
like, this what I feel. Like this is a mother that is speaking about her child.
It's exactly what it feels like. I was like, oh, I'm so tired.
Okay, your child is challenging, but you have a lot of wisdom here. And she is very creative. And all she needs is just a sense of belonging. And this is a very beautiful journey for her and for you as a mother to her. So I want you to shuffle all the cards, and I'm gonna bring the Tao. I want you to read the chapter of the concept. What's the name? What's the title?
Humbleness.
Humbleness.
That makes sense. Standing on toes is not a solid stance. Walking with spread legs is not a firm walk. A person showing off to praise, admiration, and boasts is only standing on tiptoes and walking like a frog. Arrogance cannot last many days if you exaggerate in speech or deeds. Very soon it will be too much. Oh. Oh. This is speaking of excess in a outward rather than inward way. Excess has always been seen as me, mine, want. This one's talking about excess in a giving off way. Oh, standing on toes, not so. Soon. It will be too much. It will be too. I don't feel I need to explain much about how I feel about it more than how much I'm pulling the message into myself to let it work within me more than anything. Because I'm so used to saying, well, this is how I feel about it. I'm like, I could, but I don't need to exaggerate in my speech. I know, like,
I hear you.
I hear
you.
I can tell you that I hear it and I'm letting it.
Yeah.
Because that's new.
The chapter is kind of like gives you another insight.
Yeah.
And look, we took excess and it was talking about arrogant. Do you see?
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So the paragraph all the time, I'm finding that it brings another insight and connects more dots. And if we were talking about arrogant before, that if you were like, at the beginning it was very like, you were a very shy person, you were narrowing yourself, now you're like accepting yourself, and you're arrogant, but later on it will be kind of like regulating it.
Yeah, because remember what I said? I said I love the arrogance now, but I said I had hopes to see how it would change and develop to something else.
Yes.
This one is talking about that excess is explaining that type of arrogance. Okay.
Yeah. Slowly.
Yeah. Some things don't need to be overly explained.
Yes.
Just understood.
Exactly. And less is more, because I really believe that next stage, it will be very interesting to see which card you're going to get. Let's do it now. Let's do it now.
So excited.
For the next week.
So excited. Yeah.
For the next spiral. For the next week. Cycle.
Show me the way to be at one with myself. Reconnect to my vision.
Opa. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, not too many.
Excess.
And if it excess. No, you picked for me. Now I'm going to pick. I know where you are. I know where you are. I can feel you. I can feel you. I can feel you. You're here. You're here. You're here. You're here.
Okay.
Close to me.
Okay. Let's see the cycle. Okay, invisibility.
He was a skater boy.
Beginning. Authenticity. Pause. Solitude. Wow. Invisibility. Beginning. Authenticity. Pause. And solitude.
Invisibility. Beginning. I'm going to let those words beginning. Begin. That's not how you spell beginning. Invisibility. Beginning.
Authenticity. Pause.
And solitude I know very well.
Solitude. Wow. Luke, tell me, what's the connection between the last cycle that we just summarized to this cycle?
The last one was very...
This one.
Yeah. The cards before excess, arrogance, dependence, very in your face energy. To be excess, to be jealous, to be dependent. This one, to be invisible. To pause, solitude. There is authenticity there, but authenticity there doesn't have to mean in your face, which is something I'll discover once I start playing with them. I'll let the cards tell me what it wants to tell me. Beginning is always wonderful, but invincibility, pause, and solitude. A rest of the excess of the week before is what I feel. The energy's coming off.
Emptiness.
Yeah,
Emptiness.
there's
It's
a lot
call
of
for stillness here. It's a call for stillness, to empty and to begin a new cycle. That you empty something. I don't know. And maybe to change the perspective of invisibility or solitude. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out next week when we're gonna summarize it together.